Ladies, gentlemen, and then welcome back to the Drag Race review by a bitch who does not have the credentials to do, but she does it anyways. Joining me today is the Dublin Devil from Dublin 13 with her notion. It is Naomii Diamonds.
Hello, everybody. I'm back
How are
in action.
you,
I'm back
Naomii?
again. Sorry?
How are you?
Oh, I am fucking fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I feel very fitness slut, very slutty dolphin trainer. Have the
Yeah,
girl.
very like Dua Lipa physical vibes, I want to say. Yeah.
Except I'm not anti-vax and I don't travel around the world during lockdown.
Why is that Dua Lipa?
Yeah, she's apparently Dua Lipa last year was like, everyone stay home, don't travel. Now she's fully flying around the world with her boyfriend. So scandal,
Gas
scandal.
times. Okay, so
So
don't stand Dua Lipa, but I like her music, so
yes,
YOLO.
no. So episode 2 UK Drag Race. So far, I'm currently obsessed with it more so than the US Drag Race. Seems to be the running thought of every drag queen in Europe at
Yeah.
the moment. How are you enjoying Drag Race UK so far?
Oh, bitch. Like, I don't even know if I can cope. I feel like I am going to have a seizure by the end of this.
Yeah.
The end of this talk. The UK one is so much better than the US one. I don't know what it is. I think it's that the US one is so overdone and it's so polished. I know you were talking about this with, I think it was Annie, saying that the US one is super polished. But I think because the UK one doesn't have as much of a format at the minute, it makes it more exciting because you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And it's also like they're all fucking phenomenal. Now, there is some people that I don't like. We'll get into that. But
Yeah.
most of them are phenomenal.
Because the way I see it, think about today was not to put the US girls down, but sometimes they can be models on a runway for a fashion show, whereas UK Drag Race, the queens are people, like they're people you want to get to know, where sometimes on US Drag Race, you're like, stunning queen, but you won't really think about them after.
Yeah.
But I loved it. After last night, I was like, I'm gagging to talk about it. So queens walk in anyways, and the big drama is Ahura coming after Astina's jacket. She called it, and I quote, a discount ASOS jacket. I was like, why? Like, why is she coming after the jacket? Like,
Yeah.
I think she said then, whether it's ASOS or designer, she still won the challenge.
Yeah. But so fair. Like, this is the thing that irks me about people who think they're above people who buy things from like Topshop, Zara, whatever the fuck. You know, you're not any more entitled just because you pay more money. It's not like you're, well, I know she does design clothes, but a lot of people who have that mindset, they can't even make their own clothes. They
Yeah.
just pay more money for them. So it's not like they're doing anything more like except, just paying more money for clothes.
It depends as well what your vibe is. So what Astina was going for in that look, she achieved with the look. That look told a story. Whereas Ahura is like Robin Hood, basically. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine, but what separates that from like a Halloween costume, a good Halloween costume?
Yeah.
I didn't particularly care. I lean more to Astina in this argument because my drag is very, I don't want to say pedestrian, but it's very like music video R&B, not
Mm-hmm.
fashion, but I enjoy it. So Astina's look I loved.
Yeah.
And that was basically it for like the drama as they walked in. Then RuPaul comes down to an mini challenge in the suit, which I personally adored. That suit. It was like a Burberry suit with like the brown, the bow.
Bitch, I actually wrote this down in my notes. I was like, that fucking brown shirt with the bow. I was living. Like, come on, Miss fucking RuPaul, you little sexy minx.
And wasn't it last week he came down in the all white suit with like the colored thread through it? Or was that US drag?
Yes, yeah.
I don't know why he's suddenly turning these suit looks.
Yeah, he's really coming for the girls, like.
I was like, gag, 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 gag. Yeah. So Tate's boy outfit, I was like, give me that now. It was the all black harness thing with the straps, and I was like, phenomenal. Yeah. So then episode 2, producers are like, let's try and get some drama going. So it's a whole like voting system. So of the 4 people they could vote for was a Secretary of Shade, Trade Minister, Leader of Lording It Up, and Baroness Basic. So going down, Ahura voted for Tate because she said, because I already had it.
Yeah.
I was like, drag her. So Tace ended up actually winning that, hilariously enough. Lawrence Cheney won Leader of Lording It Up. Tia Coffey won Baroness Basic. And Secretary of Shade was Ahura. Do you agree? Do you not agree?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everyone, especially the basic one. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I can cope. I think, yeah, we'll get into that in more detail near the end. But yeah, I think Tace is absolutely beautiful in drag and out of drag. I think also Estina is quite handsome out of drag. But yeah, Tace is. See, one thing that I slightly don't agree with is I feel like the cameras are playing up Ahura and making her look worse than she is. But we also need to realize that this is a reality TV show, so there is parts that are going to be like scripted, or they're going to be prompted to say something or do something. So I feel like that kind of happens. So I'm not surprised. There's always a villain every season. It's nothing new. But I feel like she's probably not a bad person. She probably just speaks what's on her mind, and then they make it come across like she's being a bitch, you know?
I mean, while part of it can be scripted, she's also spoken these words herself. Like there's still an element of what's her words, what's not her words. And
Yeah.
I mean, from Twitter, there's an allegation of her assaulting people.
Oh.
And also the first episode, Tia Coffey said that she's heard bad things about Ahura through the grapevine.
Oh,
So I'm
fair,
kind
yeah.
of keeping her at a long finger. I was
Yeah.
like, not
I mean, I don't
particularly.
know. Always give people the benefit of the doubt, but I'm also not very in tune with everything that goes on. So I don't know. She might not be a good person, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt until she does something really bad.
Yeah, so her, Secretary Shade, Trade Minister, Taste, Leader voting it up. Lawrence, also, I don't know if I'm being mean saying this. Either Lawrence got a hair transplant or he's wearing a wig because there's something about that hair, it's not right. I don't know what
I
it is.
don't know. It seems very full.
Very full, but also like the hair itself is thin. It's almost like he grew it out with no intent of cutting it. I don't
Yeah.
know where it's coming from, but could be either or. And then Baroness Basic, Tea Coffee, although I can agree, I went from hating her suit last week into that suit becoming like a gay culture moment. It's the way it was sold in hindsight was
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. But then again, she got Baroness Basic.
Yeah.
So RuPaul announces the main challenge is Rats the Rusical, and because the girls threw Tia under the bus, Tia gets to decide the role for every queen. During it now, Veronica Green throws a little strop because she's not getting what she wants. So it's her v Cherry Valentine for the role of Evita, and Veronica really throws down her like CV and is like, "I want this, I have experience," and Cherry's like, "Doesn't mean shit."
I know.
I was like, part of me, I'm not really here for drama per se, but I did like seeing Veronica Green kind of step out and be like, I can do this because she kind of fades into the background from the last episode for me. Anyway,
Yeah.
this episode
Absolutely.
changes. Did anyone stand out in that kind of picking of the process for you?
In the process picking, do you mean?
Yeah, as in like, did anyone stand out as like anything important stand out in picking the roles?
Like, not really, to be honest. That was probably the same thing that I was thinking was the little bit of drama between Cherry and Veronica. I think that was probably the biggest drama. But I do think that Tia did a good job and like kept it very neutral and like
Yeah,
made sure everyone was happy. And the little finger snaps, I don't know what that was about. Finger snaps in between every time they decided someone.
yeah.
But I mean, go for it, girl. But I think all in all, I think it was um a pretty even playing field for everyone.
It was fair enough. Like, it was no
Yeah.
underhandedness about it.
Hmm.
So, anyways, all the girls are assigned. Cherry looks pissed, literally so pissed that she didn't get what she wanted, but it's fine. And then we get into the rehearsal. So, as the rehearsal and singing, I realized I'm not a Scarlet watching the UK queens sing versus the US queens. I don't know what it was. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of talent in the UK version, and even when they weren't talented, it still wasn't bad. Whereas in the US version, it's like either goes very, very well or very, very bad.
Yeah.
Um, but then after the singing, they go to the dancing, and the choreographer is Jay Revell. I don't know about you, God didn't bless me with the gifts he gave Jay Rebel. Jay Rebel is a beautiful, beautiful man.
Like, how would you dance in front of him? Like, well, obviously you would, but I would literally just tumble over.
Yeah, it was, they're pulling out the absolute rise this season. Like Jason McDade, the photographer, the last episode, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, they're
They're
set up.
really trying it
Set
now
up.
to get all the girls watching. But they know that if they do that, all the thirsty gays would be mad for watching it.
Yeah, and it's
They
so
know
sad
full
to
well.
think, but here I am being thirsty on YouTube. Anyways, so Tia Copy, it was nice to see her step into a role she was comfortable with and she could confidently do because from last episode she was obviously seen as ideal and she got Barnes basic. I think in the US version, the Queen would have a breakdown over that.
Yeah.
Whereas she was like, this is my time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
And I will actually get to the point where you can talk. It's just a lot of like,
No, it's fine. It's fine. Absolutely.
boredom.
No, it's fine. I like hearing you talk anyways. I didn't want to say anything.
And then Lawrence has an actual breakdown on stage, which was refreshing to see because there was that shows like there's life behind a drag queen. It's not just a lace front and a stunning outfit and a good makeup.
Yeah.
Like, everyone who puts on that face is still a person underneath, and it was refreshing to see someone experience the shit show that we can often feel mentally in drag. Like if you're not doing what you want to do and you're out of your comfort zone, you feel terrible. You're like, I don't want to do it. Even when in the middle of points, you don't want to do it. But I think that could be because apart from her being out of her comfort zone, it's probably trauma from her being younger. Because I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I was heavier, and that is still carried through my adult life, even in drag. When I see queens who are like, bring wig into it, Shakira clearly grew up slim and she gets to wear things with no corset, whereas someone like me, like I'd have a panic attack not being covered. So I have that trauma from years ago of like I can't show my stomach.
I completely. Sorry?
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we obviously saw in the first episode how insecure Lawrence actually was when they were all de-dragging and he was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable taking my makeup off because then I just don't have my armor on. And I think that that's something that, you know, not everyone can relate to, but I think like you were saying, and I'm completely in the same boat as you. Now you're like, you know, you're a skinny queen now, but not like, you know, Shakira skinny, because we can't all be like Shakira. But no, I mean, I personally still struggle like with my weight and everything. I'm not like bringing it back to me. I'm not making it all about me. But no, like I wouldn't go out and drag without wearing a corset. I still like, you know, I still do this to my clothes because I feel like they're sticking to me because I'm like, oh my God, I can't show anyone that I'm overweight. Even when I'm on stage, I used to do it. Now, thank God I've got out of it. But like, even the girls are like, why do you do that? Like, why do you do that on stage? And I'm like, it's actually like a subconscious thing that I can't stop because I'm so used to just feeling so uncomfortable. Now I don't care. Like, I'll show off my little movies and my little tummy, whatever. I don't care. Like, it's me, and I don't give a shit anymore. But I think it's really hard to get out of that mindset, especially like, do you know what I mean? When you're on national TV as well, like that's like another level of like showing your insecurities can be so much harder, you know?
I didn't appreciate the producer starting the chat between Taste and Ahura. They literally planted two of them beside each other, like, right, you voted for each other as like trade, talk about it. That was very, very produced and wasn't organic at all.
Yeah, I completely see where you're coming from with that because it was such a small conversation as well. There was no build up to it. It was just like out of the blue, and it did look extremely produced. Maybe, you know, there might have been more to it and they cut it, but they definitely made it look like it was very produced, whatever way they finished it with, you know.
There's foreshadowing that we know of then that Cherry had the moment with Sister. Cherry tells us that she's a traveler, which is quite interesting because she's the first person from the traveling community I've ever heard of that does drag. And I liked it because this season so far has a lot of representation. We had the conversation between Estina and Tate about person of color representation in England, and now we're having Cherry, who is a traveler in the drag community. And I like hearing about drag from a different perspective than white cis gay, because there's much more to it. Like Gottmik on the US version is doing trailblazing things, Cherry Now Traveller, Chase and Cena had the conversation about representation. What do
Mhm.
you think on the whole kind of UK Drag Race being more talked about in terms of representation?
I think it's super important, and I think RuPaul is kind of copping on to what needs to happen on his show. I
Yeah,
think for so long it was so unrepresented, and it was very like white cis, males that were, demanding the show, and probably in terms of producing as well, that was probably the case. But then we kind of saw, we saw people of color coming onto the scene, and then we saw it just started to evolve and evolve, and I think it's at a place now where it's really, really showcasing a lot of different people across the spectrum of like all of the franchises,
yeah.
especially, and it's so interesting, like Cherry's story. I think that was super like heartfelt. It must have been super hard growing up, because obviously people in that community, um I don't know how it is in the UK, but I know here it's like extremely,
Yeah,
a man is a man, he's a man's man,
yeah.
So I think it's really difficult.
It was also upsetting as well because I think she said that she hadn't come out yet to her father. Now, let alone drag, she hadn't come out yet to begin with. I
Yeah.
often forget, like, as much as being gay can be so much fun, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I realize, oh, I'm meant to be different. I'm not meant to be like everyone else, and I forget that it's a whole thing. So for someone like Cherry who hasn't come out yet and she's on national television, as a traveler, I'm sure it was terrifying to her. Like that has to be a case of she's on TV, it's kind of forcing her out of the closet because she can't say no to Drag Race because it's a
Yeah.
opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just sad to hear that she wasn't out yet. So then, finally, after all that, we get onto the main stage. RuPaul walks out. Now, I don't want to be mean. RuPaul looked rough. That was not RuPaul's look. I
Are
don't.
you joking me, you little minx?
I'm no. I genuinely did not like it. The brown color of the dress was almost like a shitty brown. The hair was like the same shade of brown, so was the shoe, and she sounded sick. Like I thought she might have been sick because there was something like that off that just did not sit right with me. But clearly, you have a different opinion.
Magdalena coming at me with the scandal.
Yeah,
Oh my fucking god. No, I thought the color pattern and the scheme was so perfect. And I loved the way that the dress was double layered. Like there was fabric on each side of it.
yeah.
And I thought the hair was such a nice caramel color. And if you actually it was so nice. I loved it. I don't know what. And it's so unoften that we see RuPaul in those like really mini dresses. And I thought it was so fab. I loved the way it shaped his figure. It gave him like a load of volume here, and then it cinched in the center, and then it was just the perfect length just to give him like real long legs. But I
See,
mean, like, we're all entitled to our own opinion.
yeah.
And I love your hair, and I hope you win.
Anyways, then we get into Rats the musical. Um, so going through it, everything was fine. Now, I thought Ellie forgot her words because there was a weird section where her and Tate came up, and where they came up and the music started, there was like 5 seconds of nothingness, but the camera
Yeah.
focused on Ellie. So I fully panicked, being like, she forgot her words and her voice. And I realized I love this bitch so much. I was like, that's her in the bottom too. Does she have it to pull it out? I was nervous for Ellie because like I don't want her to go.
No, I think that she came in at the wrong time in the music, and she was too ahead or too behind. I can't remember, but she was wrong with the timing of the music. And then Tay said her line on time, so it made Eddie look like she was doing it wrong, but she was just delayed. That was what was
Okay,
wrong.
that would make sense because I was fully panicked. I rewatched the whole section to make sure I was like getting everything right.
Yeah.
Um, then Bimini and Ahura, I said them bitches better work. That was Prodigy inspired. I don't like Ahura. I
Yeah.
love this whole section. This
Yeah.
the best part of it, in my opinion,
Mhm.
probably the best part.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Any standout notes from you from Master Musical?
I just fucking love Bimini Bamboo Lash. East London's bendiest bitch. She's
Yeah.
a vegan, and I think she's fucking hilarious. And I think that she really took that musical by the balls and just said, "I'm going to give this everything I fucking have." She was grungy, she was dirty, she was grimy, I think that she made it so impactful. I think Ahura did really good as well. She really got into a character. Other than that, everyone else was fine. I think Veronica's vocals were amazing, and I think that she really stood out. She looked like a star. So I also think she was really, really good. But that's all.
This is why sometimes I don't like Drag Race, because someone like Veronica Green, had she only had this musical episode, like say episode 7, she could have been gone already, because she had them in 2 kind of impactful seasons so far.
Mhm.
So I think this is
Yeah.
a good time for herself in the competition, because it showed her as like a standout, and that was her talent. And what I love about Bimini as well is, from her promo and her entrance look, she's so versatile.
Oh
She's
yeah.
not anything like I thought she'd be. When I seen her in the promo, I was like, oh, blonde Barbie, very fashion doll. No, she's not. She's properly willing to go there and do the damn thing. And I love
Mhm.
her for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, then we get on to surprise, surprise, which is the runway basically reveals. Um, First up then is Ahura, came out as the groom. Her transition was her becoming a bride.
Mhm.
What did you think of it?
Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, here we go, great, another
Yeah.
one of these. But then when I actually rewatched it, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of nice, like kind of good. But the only thing that I will say is it has been done before, and probably has been done a little bit better, a little bit more polished. But I mean, look, we can't all have some of the money that, or the loans that the fucking US girls take out. So I think it was good, and it was well constructed and finished. But I don't know.
The local credit union said, "You're not getting that money, sis."
The
You're
credit
not
union
getting
said,
that money.
decline,
No,
bitch.
declined. I didn't enjoy it, because for someone who hypes himself up as a fashion designer, that was very. When I say basic, I don't mean like it wasn't good. It just was like,
Mhm.
it was a plain suit that became a plain dress. There was nothing about it that I was like, oh, she made that herself and put time and work into it. It seemed very bland.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean.
Um, so I didn't particularly enjoy Hora. Then Lawrence, this blue bodysuit into the tartan gown.
Like, come here, look, come here. Let me be real with you, right? So
Talk.
it's not like I'm a fucking luck queen. It's not like I'm out here in Dublin serving the girls every night. Like, come here, I fucking know that. But it was just not really it for me, to be honest. I didn't love it. I'm not really one to critique, because it's not like we're fucking fashion icons in Dublin here. But I think there was something about it. I don't know what it was. I think it was that it was too low cut, and it looked like there was way too much going on here. She had no jewelry on here, or maybe she did. I don't know, but it looked like she did. But anyways, it just wasn't it for me. It's a boost.
I boot. She had jewelry for the tartans, but I think the blue covered it. But what annoyed me was, she's a bigger girl, shall we say. That suit made her look bigger. I'm not
Yeah.
saying being bigger is bad, but at her size, she could have pulled something like that had a bit more shape to it. Like,
Yeah.
the blue was like straight up and down, nothing major. And then when the tartan came out, it was like the same lack of silhouette, shall I say.
Yeah, I think the lack of silhouette was what made it a little bit cheap looking. I think if she had even cinched it or something a little bit more, I think it would have been a bit more impactful. I think as a bigger queen, I think that's very important as well. Like, I have to cinch or I can't cope. So
Like,
I think,
what she could have done was, she could have had the tartan slit up the sides. When it fell down, she could have a leg out, and when she was walking, it would have created more movement. If she's not going to do shape, give it movement. It was it wasn't great now, to say the least.
it was just stiff. It was stiff.
It was stiff, and
Is that the
also
right
in
word? It
her,
was stiff.
it was stiff. The only time you don't want it stiff. Um, she said as well in her on her YouTube channel, that was the very, very last look she prepared for Drag Race. So like, she pulled that together in like days, if not weeks. So that was like, that was the one category she did not want to hear about. And then on
Yeah.
top of it being Wax the Musical, it was not
Mhm.
her week in terms of like things going her way.
No,
But that could be
definitely
about
not.
the start of her trajectory being like, it's a fire under my arse and I don't want to do this again. That whole storyline. But anyways, wasn't great. Then we
Yeah.
went on to Ginny Lemon in the Crocs, first of all. I can't get over the Crocs. I love them to bits.
Fancy
The
it.
boys! Comes out in this like yellow floral 60s dress that reveals into the same dress, which I think is camp as all fuck.
Oh, total camp goddess.
The only thing better than a reveal is a reveal that's not a reveal.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's nearly better than a reveal.
Yeah. But then
because it's so impactful because you're not doing anything.
Not doing anything. And then she was like, all the judges were like, oh, and she turned and had that mesh panel in the back.
Yeah. Oh.
There was something so like Inception that like that. It was like gaslighting the judges. She was like, here's a reveal. There's no reveal, but also there's a reveal. It was
it was just really funny. It was just really campy, completely Ginny Lemon style. I think that's exactly what she is. She's complete camp. I think she serves it every time.
It was so gas.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Cherry Valentine in this yellow polka dot umbrella moment that ends up becoming a gender reveal party. I didn't get that, but I also didn't get the judges saying the gender reveal thing was expected. I didn't expect there to be a baby bump under it.
Yeah.
I don't know where they seen this to be like, oh, we expect. Where did they expect it?
I don't know. Maybe in person you could see the bump more or something, and that might have given it away. But like on camera and like from what I saw and obviously what you saw as well, it didn't look like that. I didn't really understand. I thought that the first outfit before the reveal was really nice. I thought that the polka dots were fab, but then when she took the yellow dress out and just had gender on it, I was like, that's not it.
It's not it. Like, let's be real women talking about real woman issues. It's a reveal runway. There's only so much you can do. Like, reveals by nature aren't slick. If someone pulls it off and it is slick, fair play, they deserve the world.
Yeah, like Brooklyn Heights, for example, that's probably one of the best reveals I think that's ever Drag Race.
The best. But you're putting fabric on top of fabric. So you're creating less and less shape because you're trying to layer fabric. I don't like this runway because it's stressing queens out. They're probably paying top dollar for reveal looks because it's intricate. Like, it's not just sew a garment. It has a whole like, how does it hide the garment under it? How does it fall off? How does it take off?
Yeah.
So I didn't appreciate the judges being like, oh, we seen it coming. It's a reveal, they can only do so much with, and the fact she kind of turned into like the whole baby thing. I didn't think it was bad per se. Then move on to Tia Coffee. This male body torso leather daddy thing, which I loved, fell down into this what you order versus when it arrives AliExpress burlesque moment.
I don't know what to say without screaming, but I will not scream because there's people here. But that was tragic. I'm not one to judge. Well, I actually am. I always say that I'm not one to judge when I really am. But it bugs me how you can look at that. And she got that made. How could you get something made and pay for that and think, wow, I look nice in this? If somebody made that for me, if I got one of the fab designers in Dublin to make that for me and they came out like that, I'd be like, keep it. Now, keep your money.
It was a corset with 3 ring skirts sewed into it.
No.
She paid that. That wasn't right. That someone did her wrong.
Yeah, and that wig just was not it either. I can't cope.
I want to see. Tia is someone in the competition that I love to watch. She's genuinely entertaining as a person. But this now, when I started drag, I said that my performance skill was not level with makeup skill. So when I was performing, I loved it and I was doing well at it. My makeup couldn't match it. Tia's confidence in drag as a drag queen is not matching her fashion or her taste level. There's only one look so far I've seen of Tia's that I actually like.
But was that one of her boy outfits?
No, just like her as a queen, love her outfits, atrocious. unless she suddenly got rid of all her bad outfits in these first two episodes, and from here on out, it's stunning. I can't see her getting anywhere near the top four
Yeah.
unless she
No.
does well in the challenges. Then we move on to Ellie, icon. She comes out as a scarecrow from Wizard of Oz, then comes out as a Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, and then there's a third reveal into the Lion from the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I think it was fab. I think it was very well executed. The only thing that I would say is parts of me, like collectively, I thought it was really, really solid, but parts of me were wishing that it was more of an impactful double or one reveal rather than three.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand like the concept behind it and the three, but then like you're missing one of them. No, isn't there four?
I thought that as well. I can't think for life of me who's that.
There's the Lion, the Tin Man.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, so the Scarecrow one she didn't do.
No, she came out as a scarecrow, went into
Oh,
Tin
so then
Man.
she didn't do Dorothy then.
Dorothy, which I'm being greedy here, but I would have, if you're going to do three, why not do four? Do two.
Yeah, if you're going to do three, just do four, and if you're not going to do four, then just do two.
Like, I can't explain.
But I did think it was fab. I did think it was really fab, and her makeup and hair is fucking phenomenal. Even though we're not related to anyone, by the way, she just has the same last name as me. But now I'm a bit annoyed because somebody on Drag Race has my same last name, and I'm like, no, I can never go on Drag Race.
Claim it anyways. Ride them coattails as far as you can get them for the diamond name. Then Astina as this Mortal Kombat Electra bitch. Oh, gagged. I'm gay enough because Jennifer Garner did a film years upon years ago, and it was Electra, and then knives were Electra's knives. This was clearly a Mortal Kombat thing, but also that reveal wasn't really revealed. She came out and then took it off and had the body. By the way, her body is banging.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend. Then she took off her face mask, and it was that terror thing, which I love for UK Drag Race because UK queens aren't afraid to go there. Like, you can tell she's a pretty queen, but she wasn't afraid to do like horror with the teeth.
Yeah.
But what did you think of it?
I think to be honest, I think it was like, sorry, oh my god, what is wrong with me? I think her body is fucking phenomenal. Like, oh my god, insane. But it just was a bit basic for me, and the reveal kind of didn't. Well, to me, it didn't really make sense. I was like, what's the point in you having this on your face? But I did like it. Like, I just don't think that it was very reveal-like. You know, there wasn't really anything. It was a very Shaq outfit, very minimal material, like Shaq likes. Doesn't really wear much clothes. No, she knows this. It's fine. I'm allowed to
Drag her.
You know. But no, I do think it was good. I think there was just parts I was kind of like, oh, but like, why?
Yeah, it was very tame for reveal.
Yeah, like it was fine. It was a fun little cute outfit, but I'm also like, I just don't really understand. But you kind of understood the Mortal Kombat kind of thing, and maybe that's what it was, and I just didn't get it. But I just didn't really understand why she was doing this with the swords and all. But
I mean, growing up, playing the girls in Tekken and Mortal Kombat as a gay man, I'm living for the touch-up. Living.
Sorry, I'm just getting a bit
the women in fighting games was a very gay thing to do. And I think that might harken back to her playing games and being that person. But what I will say is what makes the girls in them games fierce is that they're females in a male-dominant environment, and the outfits are like skimpy, and it's everything a gay man wants to see.
Yeah.
But I think on the main stage of Drag Race, that doesn't translate as well. So I don't know how she could have did it, but she could have made that more drag, maybe with like a train, just to give it something.
Yeah, I think something just to make it a bit more draggy. But I mean, that's again all subjective. You know, is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think that everyone's drag is different, and I think that we need to realize that. Some people might love that. You know, that might be a UK thing we don't know about. I don't know.
But also in terms of talking about queens who are pretty, she's very pretty as well in drag, but she wasn't afraid to do the horror thing, which I think is
yeah, that's true.
But it's nice to see them break out of that. Then next was Sister. Apart from her fading into the whole background of the show, and she wore a kind of floral Lana Del Rey gown. What I loved about her was when she came out, she went over to the other side of the stage and like leaned up against the wall. There was something about
Yeah,
it
yeah,
I just loved. And then that became like this red leather dominatrix type of thing. Um, I mean, it was fine, but I'm not a fan of
yeah.
Sister Sister, not because she does anything wrong. She's fading into the background. She hasn't done anything
Yeah.
so far to warrant her getting screen time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm really glad that you actually reminded me about her outfit because I didn't remember.
yeah,
Um, I mean, it's just there's nothing wrong with her, and I think that her drag, I probably would like if it was in person and whatever, but I think she is definitely fading into the background of the show. Unfortunately, for me, I have my reasons why she's kind of fading into the background of the show. I mean, like especially last week, I think she should have been in the bottom two, and Joe should not have been gone home last week. I think that was a fucking disgrace. That's a disgrace to drag. Sorry, I'm just so upset. But I mean, look, drag was okay, and I did like the outfit. I think the tattoos was kind of cool, and she kind of made it really. She made it very like her whole body. Like she had it on her head as well, and she took off that wig. Did I make that up, or did that happen? I think that did happen, where she took off a wig and it was like a ball cap with tattoos on it.
oh, interesting.
I think that happened.
It's not
Don't
because
quote
I'm
me.
doubting you. I just don't care enough to remember if she did or not. Like
Okay.
you
No, I
don't.
think she did. Like that was the kind of part I was like, okay, yeah, you kind of sold me.
Ugh, bland bitch. Then
Yeah,
move on to Veronica Green. Let's talk about it. This 50s housewife look, which I adored.
yeah.
I was like, what? I don't care. Like, what's she going to do? Never in a million years did I expect this robot thing that she made herself, by the way. That was clever. That was
That.
smart. That's turned her around in my head.
Yeah.
But what was your thoughts on it?
I think it was so clever. I think that it was very like it was a reveal that kind of made sense and kind of left the viewer being like, oh my god, that's actually really clever because it's like the robot underneath the housewife that is like, just doing all the cooking, doing all the
Exactly
cleaning,
wise, yeah.
whatever. Yeah, and I just thought it was so clever and so well done. And the only thing I was at the beginning was I was like, why is her wig so far down on her head? I don't get it. And then I was like, okay, it made sense when she whipped it off and the thing was underneath it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe she did it herself. Fair play, like fair play.
Now, I'm going to bring this point up. That's why I was saying earlier, we're talking about Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
I know as your government gender, as a boy, you work for a makeup counter. I I personally love makeup and makeup theory. Like it gets
Mm-hmm.
me going. I watch makeup
Yeah.
videos, and when that white liner is opaque, I'm like, you better fucking. I love it.
Yeah.
Have you looked at her makeup yourself? Like, have you actually looked at her makeup?
I mean, like, uh, just to kind of, just so people don't think I'm lying or that you're lying. I've been working in makeup for like 4.5 years now. I work for a global brand, and I have worked with Inglass. I've worked with a lot of different companies, so I'm not just like sitting here being like, oh, fucker, But I mean, when I look at people's makeup, I'm kind of like, I know that I could do it better on you, but I'm like, you'll learn. It's kind of like the only thing that annoys me about people like that is I've seen queens do so much more with so much less time. Like even my sisters in the House of Wig, like we've all evolved together so much in like our costumes, outfits, whatever, and that's been in a matter of like a year and a half.
Yeah,
So if your makeup is still like that in after like how many years, whatever. I mean, she does look really pretty, especially in the promos and some of the things. But then when you get really up close, it's like she didn't even block her brows. And I mean, you don't have to because she looks like a woman. You know?
that's part of the problem though, because she get away with it. She gets away with it. Like when
Yeah.
she from last episode when she came out in that red dress, her face was like 2 shades darker in terms of being orange than her body.
Mm.
Her eyebrows are way too low. Like I'm personally someone who loves a drag queen who blocks the brows and like draws them higher because it
Yeah.
does something to the face. It adds different dimensions. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she could be the Courtney Act of UK Drag Race if her
Mm-hmm.
makeup was better. It's just like in terms of say someone like Ellie who I know it's why that's drag queen makeup. It's so perfected. It's so right. That to see someone like Veronica, I sound like a bitch. It just frustrates me because I love makeup so much, and it's a skill in our form drag you learn. And for her,
Yeah. I mean, like the one thing that I've kind of learned over the years and from starting drag is like you can't kind of push your opinion of like what you think is like a perfect face or what you think is right in makeup on someone else because there's no point. You're not gonna like make them learn, you know? And that's what I've kind of learned is just to be like, live and let live. If they want to look like a little bit crusty around the edges, let them. It's not none of my business. But I also, the only thing that I was saying in like defense to part of that is I think if you're not like fully perfected in your look and your makeup look, it's so much harder to do it on HDTV, honey. Do you know,
well,
like for her, I can, oh.
first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming on to my show and making me look like the bitch I am. Thank you so much. But secondly, it's like I'm not frustrated at her not being able to do, say, good makeup. It's just
Mhm.
at that level, you expect something more. Like, there's not much difference between her as a boy and her as a girl. I think she's naturally pretty, that works for
Yeah.
her. But
Mhm.
maybe, like, for me, I can't do that. And
Yeah.
it's just, I think, out of the bunch, I want to say this in a nice way, a very PG way. In terms of all the girls that are there, I like her makeup the least because it doesn't look like she puts time into, say, perfecting the skill of makeup. Maybe she's a better performer than she is a makeup artist,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
often queens can either be, say, unreal at makeup, not good at performing, or good at performing, not good at makeup. Maybe
Yeah.
makeup is just not her strong suit. I would just like to
Mhm.
see the progression. And
Yeah. I know.
after
No,
all
I
that,
can I completely get what you mean.
um,
I'm not trying to like, but I'm not just to like let you know and let everyone know. I'm not trying to bash you or anything or anyone else's opinions. I'm just saying like, and even you see it. We saw it even with Aja on Drag Race, and when she came back for All Stars, her makeup was 10 times better because
yeah,
I think once they come off Drag Race, you're like, okay, now I actually have to do gigs and I have to do this and I have to do way more, and then
yeah.
you start to paint more and you start to do more, and the more you paint, I think everyone kind of will know this that like the more you paint, and if you're doing drag like once a week or twice a week, the better you get at it because you're just so used to doing it.
Yeah. Naomi versus Magdalena beef confirmed.
Cancel Mags on fucking
Cancelled,
Instagram.
please.
Cancel Queens.
Cancelled. Then we move on to Taste. The red jacket, she went in a red jacket that was kind of like in bits because like lots of fabric torn up, made into a jacket that then became a catsuit into the whole bloody mouth thing. Now, before Michelle even said it, I did notice the black corset. Oh, it was a black
I
corset.
wore a black bra just in support of Taste today with my red outfit.
Yeah.
I did.
Um, I agree
Let's
with you.
not.
I agree with judges. That wasn't really a reveal. It was a blood capsule in the mouth that she fit. That was also red. Um, but stunning. Absolutely.
I can't cope. I fucking cannot cope when I tell you this, Mags. Mags, I can't cope.
Yeah.
I'm not able. That was
She,
iconic. I mean, she
what?
did. I think it was three though,
It
and
was
then but
the
it looks
jacket,
like
the
two.
catsuit.
It was a cape, then the jacket, then the catsuit.
Oh, okay.
But the cape she took off before she even started walking.
See, if I was her, what I would have done was I would have had like the darker shade of red as the cape into a lighter shade of red or pink as the catsuit, and then revealing something that was white. So when she popped the red blood, the red would pop against the white.
Yeah.
Um, it was,
I just like, but I'm being completely biased here. Everyone needs to remember this because Taste is like literally in my eyes a fucking icon. Like no one can tell me shit. I I do agree with the black
undergarments.
corset. I think it could have been more polished with like a red fabric or something. But at the end of the day, I didn't really mind. I think the jumpsuit was, what is it? Jumpsuit catsuit? I don't know. It was fab. It was really well constructed. It was done by Bang London. They did her promo
Look,
outfit as well. The white. Yeah, I love a bit of Bang London. To be honest, I love banging in London.
ooh, you.
Yep.
No,
But
I
I
mean,
thought it was fab. I just didn't really get the blood. That was all. But everything else was fab.
especially because it was all red. Um, she to me embodies what Naomi Campbell does on runway. There's something about Tate when she walks, she knows she's the shit. I think every drag queen should be like that because you're creating a character and a person, and if you don't fully believe in that person and character, something's not going right. I think every drag queen should love their drag character so much to embody what Tate can do. Now, Black corset, what I will say is in defense of her, that could have been something where she had everything planned out and it could have been just that one thing that slipped to mind. She could have been like, I'm bringing a corset, I have the corset, but it didn't click that it was black and it was red. It could have been just that little thing that she forgot about. But other than that, stunning.
Yeah. Because I think even if she had like a black bodysuit under it, it would have given like nice contrast to it. But I think because she didn't, she obviously just was like all over the place before she even went up the fucking show, as anyone would be.
Yeah.
You know.
Then finally we get to Bimini Bon Boulash. She came out as like a Marilyn type character. Marilyn is a sex doll basically, and top the balloons. And I didn't understand what she was trying to do until I seen her Instagram. It was like when she popped the balloon, there was paint inside it that was meant to pop against the white, and it was the trans colors. This to me now is the UK version of Asia O'Hara's Butterflies. It just didn't work. Had it worked, it would have been, I'd say, one of the looks of UK Drag Race across all the seasons.
Yeah, I think if we just need to make a disclaimer that we do not, me and Mags do not we don't stand for butterfly issues.
Cruelty, I think words.
Yeah, that's the word. Sorry, I'm a bit like strange, so I don't know some words sometimes. We don't stand for butterfly cruelty. We'll just let you all know that now.
Unless they say my drag is shit, then butterflies are getting squashed.
You drag is shit, Max.
But like even that like hair, it was like it came up into like a bump and the whole way up. It was basically an anal plug. But it was stunning. Once again, Bimini is becoming someone I thoroughly enjoy as a drag queen because she's willing to go there.
I think she was fab, and the whole outfit was very, very nice. It was very high fashion. It was basic, but she made it work, and she made it high fashion. And I think that I love a queen that can make something look that's really basic look really expensive.
Here's the thing that upsets me about US Drag Race becoming a global phenomenon. People are trying to attribute what happens in US Drag Race drag all around the world. Like, no one in Ireland can really compete with US Drag Race because them costumes cost thousands upon thousands of euros. Yeah. And if you're not working as a drag queen week in, week out, you can't put all that time, money, and effort into your drag in terms of drag race because there's no market here to make a living as a drag queen. I know people in Dublin do make a living as drag queen, but if you're not from Dublin, it's very, very hard to make money as a full-time drag queen. And even in Dublin, people who have been there for years, and it's very hard to make a profit so that you can quit your job and do it. Like, I appreciate House of Wig because House of Wig is trying to do something for drag queens who are still new to the scene, which is why I feel such affinity for House of Wig. But
thank you.
Thank you, fourth member coming. I don't know where I was going with that conversation. Oh yeah, US Drag Race. Yeah. It's hard for us to compare ourselves to that level because there's not many drag queens in counties outside of Dublin. And if there is, like Galway has a lot of queens, Cork has a lot of queens, Belfast has a lot of queens. But in between that, like me and you both in Sligo as well as Shaq, there's maybe like 5 drag queens and we're 3 of them. And 2 of them don't perform anymore. So it's like, it's what I'm saying is it's basically hard to put that much effort in your US Drag Race. Yeah. I completely lost train of thought. Let's hope people.
It's okay. No, I agree. I think that the UK one is more relatable for people like us in the Irish scene, and it shows that you don't need to spend thousands on costumes to make it work. I think that it's much harder for us to look at US Drag Race, and I think that that's why the US Drag Race is sometimes a little bit more prestigious or something, because they're a little bit more untouchable on a global front. So I think that's what makes them a little bit more untouchable, and it makes the UK girls feel so much more relatable, which I love.
I think the point I was getting at was Bimini's concept was simple, but it was clever. There was intelligence behind it that would have worked very well. That probably cost her less than £100 to make. Even with say Ginny, that probably didn't cost a lot either. It was a mesh panel in the back of a dress.
Hmm.
That's why I like UK Drag Race, is because the queens are doing stuff that doesn't cost a bomb, but it still
Yeah,
impacts with US Drag Race.
yeah, exactly.
But anyways, that comes to the end of the runway. Now, with the performances that were gave in Rats, the safes are Ahura, Sister, Ginny, Bimini Bon Boulash, and Estina. Do you agree?
Everyone except Sister Sister, I agree with.
Where was Sister going? Obviously, bottom. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think Taste should have been safe. I think that Cherry Valentine should have been safe, and I think she should have been in the bottom two. Sister Sister.
What annoyed me about this was Lawrence got a free pass because Lawrence is likable.
Yeah.
I stand Lawrence. I love Lawrence. The judges literally said her personality sold it. You
Yeah.
can't do that. Like, as well as the Rusical being there, putting three queens as like the Rat Pack, how do you shine in a small role and there's three of you in the same outfit, by the way? Like, you can't really shine in
Hmm.
that. Um, like, I hate to say it, but I'd be mad if she was. But Lawrence should have been bottom three, if not
Yeah.
bottom two. Like, Cherry had possibly a cleaner performance, and her outfit was a lot better than Lawrence's.
Yeah.
Um, Sister, I forgot about. If we're going to go there, her outfit was pretty plain in and of itself. Um,
I think we like as much as I keep referring back to it, I think like we need to realize that they're probably doing this to annoy people to captivate the audience
uh,
even more. That's exactly what they do is they put people that people they know people will love in the bottom for good TV. And we also need to realize that this is at the end of the day one person's opinion, which is
yeah,
RuPaul. So, at the end of the day, if that was anyone else, like if that was me, if that was you, if that was bloody Shaq, if that was whoever, if it was Donna,
fuck
um,
Donna,
fuck Donna.
fuck
No,
Donna.
we love Donna. If that was any of us doing the judging, we'd probably have a different perspective. So
Yeah,
everyone has different fucking perspectives. I just can't cope with the way that they do that for TV. It really annoys me.
yeah. Um, yes, and then on the runway when they're all getting dragged by RuPaul, Cherry tries to have a moment. RuPaul's like, no. She just shuts her down. There was no like room for Cherry to talk about it. RuPaul was like, no.
Yeah, RuPaul was just like, no, don't want to talk about it. Bye.
This
Very much a Pearl moment.
and then RuPaul dragged Tate for the off the rack catsuit. I don't know what was up with RuPaul. This is kind of why I think she actually was sick. Because on top of her sounding sick at the top of the runway, she was very fucking catty to the queens.
Yeah,
Like almost meme levels. And I was like, Jesus Christ, can you relax a bit? Like,
yeah.
if her catsuit
I
was off the rack, fine. It was still stunning.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think RuPaul is really hard on the people that he knows or he knows is going to go far.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he was just being a bit of a bitch. But I do think that he knows when he knows a star when he sees one.
Yeah. And Tate is a star. That's put it
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Then all the queens come back to Untucked. By the way, I'm so glad Untucked is in the episode. I don't have to go find a link.
yeah. I
Watch it.
know. Thank God.
So nice. What happened between Sister and Lawrence? That came out of absolutely nowhere. Like all of a sudden, Sister was launching into Lawrence. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
It was a
I
lot of
think
drama for nothing.
I think again just for TV.
For TV. But
I do think that's literally all it was. I don't think it was anything deeper than literally just being for TV purposes.
yeah. Down the list. Veronica is the winner.
Yeah, fair.
Bimini could have been in there if her outfit was, if it did what it's supposed to do. Bimini could have been top two as well.
Yeah.
I said literally when the bottom three was announced, when I saw it clicked, I was like, the bottom three was Cherry, Lawrence, and Tate.
Yeah.
I literally said, fuck. Because I realized the bottom three were queens who are strong as queens. Like Cherry, her entrance stuff alone, and her only being a year in drag, I was like, she's talented.
Yeah.
I also felt very
Mhm.
represented for the sharp contour.
Yeah.
Cherry. Lawrence is Lawrence, and Taste is stunning. It only stands to me saying fuck on episode 2 of UK Drag Race that I'm like raging whoever goes home.
Yeah.
It has so much more going for it than US Drag Race.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
So, anyways, the bottom 2 then is Cherry and Taste. Obviously, you don't agree with that.
No, I wanted to punch the wall when I saw that it was those two in the bottom two. I think that it just frustrated me because it was the same situation last week where people who shouldn't have been in the bottom two were in the bottom two. And I think that's a bit unfair, especially last week. You know, they were completely different styles of drag being put together. I know that's kind of the point of the bottom two in the challenge, but I just think that it was so unfair again this week. I think Taste did absolutely, she did very well. And I'm not just being biased here, but there's people that actually did worse but got by because of how they were.
Yeah.
And I think Cherry has so much more, would have had so much more to offer should she like not have been in the bottom two.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know. I think it should have been Sister Sister and fucking Tia Coffee. And I was a bit disgusted, to be honest, but
I won't say Tia because Tia in the musical was actually very good.
mm,
It was her
I
runway.
think I just have like a vendetta against Tia Coffee now.
Yeah.
Why?
So then we move on to the lip sync. Who in their right fucking mind made the hate crime of choosing Memories and not even Jennifer Hudson version?
Max, we just can't get along, can we?
No. Don't get me wrong. Memories is stunning. When Jennifer Hudson sang Memories in Cats, the actual movie, I was like, this bitch deserves the world. She's so talented. Where do you go with Memories as a lip sync? Like, it's an unreal song on stage and it does well because the person performing is so talented, you can't help but be in awe of them singing it. But as a drag queen, that song, like, where do you go with that? Like,
Yeah, I think like it depends on the person that's doing it. I think some people find it really hard to do slow songs and emotive songs because they're not very good at emotive expression. They're more like of a mover and more of a dancer and a groover, and that's completely fine. Everyone's drag is different, but I think some people are able to be more emotive, and I think
um,
that the song builds to a certain extent, and then it climaxes near the end, so it does, you know, have that little bit of impact. And I think that the song that it was like I love the Jennifer Hudson version as well, but I think that the one that they chose was the original one from the musical.
yeah.
So that's probably why they chose it because of the crossover. But can we please, for the love of God, discuss that lip sync? I don't know about you. Maybe we're on different point of views again, as usual. But to me, that was one of the most iconic lip syncs I've ever seen in Drag Race history, and I am not making that up. I can't cope. And I know you're not going to agree with me. That's fine because we just never seem to agree on anything. But yeah, absolutely.
I need you checked. I need you to present. That lip sync was iconic because it was so, aside from the Queens, bad. Like, they definitely didn't have, we're going to fight. They didn't have
I'm going to
the
punch you through
Jennifer
this.
Hudson version because obviously they couldn't afford the rights, which I'm assuming is what happened. Some queens are emotive. I get that. It's just, it was such an odd choice. Like, if you were on RuPaul's Drag Race and to save yourself from going home, RuPaul was like, you're doing Memories by Elaine Page from the stage production of Cats.
I would say thank you. And I'm not joking because I would perform. Do you know what, Mags? I'm going to make a bet with you right here, right now, okay? And I promise you this. I swear on my own life.
Okay.
The next time I perform for a wig show, I will do Memory.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I would do Memories too, and I would serve it on a silver platter. It was just, for someone like Taze, I want to see her lip sync to what she's good to, and I want to see Cherry lip sync to what she's good to.
I can't go how different we are.
I don't.
Stress me out. did you not find that like absolutely iconic when she was looking like what's her name out of some movie, Kill Bill, with the paint splattered all over her face, and she like looked up and just served it. She
No,
literally like
I'm not coming after the Queens doing the lip sync. I'm coming after the song being Memories from Cats. Like Taste, the face that launched 1,000 Chips, like that was at
yeah.
all beauty, pure beauty. And Cherry tried to emote, which I
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
It was just without pre-planning that song, you're kind of fucked because Cherry's in bits because she thinks she's going home. Tate's
Yeah.
probably doesn't perform musicals. It was just, but I don't think we'd agree. So that's a
No,
really,
we'll agree to disagree. You think it was shite. I think it was great. No,
no,
I get what you mean about the song. I mean, the song, there's only so much you can do, especially when you're just thrown into it. And I do agree with that. But look, we'll just agree to disagree like we have to
yeah.
this whole fucking conversation.
I just think in the grand scheme of Drag Race, it was odd in terms of like everything that came before it.
Okay.
Also, next time you have a wig ball, we'll do memories together on stage just to live the
And
fantasy.
then I'll box you around the place.
More be confirmed. Um, so then Cherry went home. That's so upsetting. But to make it that far in drag, a year old
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, I think she's definitely going places. I don't think it's the end of her.
Oh,
And you
God,
can,
no.
to be honest, you can kind of tell, if you really look at it, you can kind of tell what queens are going to do well by how they're presenting now.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm.
Like how they're presenting themselves and on their stories and stuff. And she's looking fierce fucking expensive. So I have a feeling she's going to do well.
She is, but when she was giving her like final speech in front of the mirrors in the workroom, you could tell that bitch was bitter. She was ripping
Oh,
inside.
yeah.
She was fucking human.
Yeah, that's because there's other queens that should have been gone.
I
I won't
don't
say who.
disagree, but it's hard. I think it's hard to watch the show as a viewer, seeing everything from when they walk in to when they walk out versus RuPaul, who's just seeing what's presented in front of them.
Yeah.
It's I'm kind of hoping for a twist where we do that whole like all the queens come back, one queen stays twist.
Yeah,
I
I do
think
love
where it comes back
that.
will be an addition to the show, basically.
Yeah.
Have you any other notes from the episode, Naomi?
No, just the fact that like we like really don't get on. No, I think it was a really, really strong episode all in all. I think it's just showing how right we are about the fact that UK Drag Race is going to be fucking phenomenal this year. And it just keeps evolving. And the second episode, I know like we don't agree about what happened or like the song or whatever in the end of the episode, but like when I just saw the potential with Taste and like what she actually served, I just lost my fucking whole. I don't know.
Naomi Diamond
But I did.
confirm loose hole, confirm loose
I
bottom.
lost my whole. Yeah, but no, I think it was a really, really impactful, very full on episode. There was a lot to delve into, a lot of juicy gossip, and there was also a part in the episode, but I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. So it just seems mad. Cherry said something really, really, really sassy to someone, but I don't know who she said about their costumes. But I don't know. Maybe just cut this out because I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, maybe she was talking to Tia because I did say Tia took criticism very well, so that could have been Cherry picking a Tia.
It could have been. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't
Sure,
know.
look, you make me look like a bitch, so I'm gonna make you look like a bitch too, so we're keeping it in, honey.
Oh, you
Um,
little bollocks. I'm going to sue you.
Sue you. I'll meet you in the Peace Park for an absolute box.
We'll see. We'll fucking see now. We'll see if Mags will be getting a gig now after this.
Suddenly I'm
neck.
fuck.
The neck.
So nice. I
No,
think
but anyways, yeah, so I'm going to go now.
wow, thanks.
No, anyway, I think that was a really good way for you to give out to me there. So thanks for that.
I think just in this conversation I discovered, I think UK Drag Race, it's not really obvious, but I think it has teething problems in terms of RuPaul to just get to grips with what the culture is in terms of like camp queens and the queens doing things in a different way than US drag, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe in the next season, I think it will be more. I can only see UK Drag Race going up. I can't see it flopping anytime soon.
No, I think it will. It'll keep evolving.
I just think it has something exciting for it, and it can only go up.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, after a long night of fucking and discussing,
yeah, oh my god, long night fucking.
All the people where they can find you on social media.
Oh, well, you can find me on OnlyFans. No, I'm joking. You can find me just on Instagram, really. I don't really use any other platforms. I just use Instagram because I'm basic horror. So it's just Naomii with 2 I's. So Naomii Diamond. And that's it. You can find me there and we can have a little chat and discuss. And hopefully...
You can also find her in Phoenix Park. Well, her body, because I have murdered her after this whole discussion.
Well, now that's on tape, so...
Wow, thanks. Wow, okay,
well,
cool.
Do you know what, Mags? At least they're going to make a Netflix documentary out of me, and my family will get all the earnings. So thanks for that.
You're so welcome. Anyway,
and drag queen killed by the drag queen. Sorry, we need to stop because I'm getting hyper now.
If you'd like to stop interrupting me, Naomii, I'm trying to wrap this up. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. Oh, here we go now.
Just because
Mags, there's something to say.
Something to say. But anyways. Thank you so much, Naomii, for actually doing it. It was actually great to talk to one of my psycho sisters that I never see. Shaq will be on here at some point. God bless her. Donna is on next week.
I heard.
And I look forward to seeing what the House of Wig has to bring in terms of opinions, because so far 1/3 of it has given a lot of opinions. I'm very excited to see where.
Do you know what's really the saddest part?
Wow.
Is I have the least opinions out of all of us, so good luck to you, babe.
Watch me quit this whole series. Anyways, thank you so much for doing
Yeah, you cancelled off air.
I look forward to seeing next week's episode. I'm sure Naomii will be back at some point to review either UK Drag Race, US Drag Race again. But yes, thank you so much, and I will see you on Instagram. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.